Hey, this is Elisa with 60 Days to 60, and I now have less than 60 days before I'm 60 years old. And so I'm just sharing things that I've learned in my almost 60 years. And I'm trying different places. Hoping that maybe the lighting's a little better here. I also ordered a different camera that I'm going to try when it comes in, and um, hope that the lighting's a little bit better. Sorry for the bad lighting yesterday, but my son was home and he was recording videos, and it was like really loud out here. So I had to go back in my room and the lighting was terrible. So today I'm going to try and get a few videos recorded out here in the better lighting. So we've been talking about the spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental, and how those all work together. Today, I want to talk about something that I don't think it's talked about enough, and that's called momentum. A lot of times we think we have to have these big goals. And so having a big goal is helpful in that, going back to the gap in the gain, that our gains are usually greater if we're going for a bigger goal. But then sometimes we defeat ourselves because we get focused on that gap and we have a hard time because we didn't meet the goal. I want to talk about momentum. So, the best way I like to describe this is, I think I've mentioned in past videos that I grew up playing basketball and I love basketball so much. I grew up in North Carolina and basketball was a big part of my life growing up. So imagine that two basketball teams are playing and one team is down by 20. And the team that's down by 20, the coach calls a timeout and says, hey, so we're going to go back in, we're going to make a 20-point basket to get back in the game. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, for those maybe who don't play basketball as much, there is no 20-point basket. It doesn't exist. And yet we do this a lot of times in real life. I call it the magic pill solution. We are looking for that magic pill that will just make all of our problems go away, and that will solve them like overnight without us doing any work or having to show up over and over and over again. So let's say the coach comes back in and says, so let's go back, rewind. He calls the timeout and he says, hey, we're going to go down, and every time we go down, we're going to score. And so you go, great. And maybe he even draws out some plays to help you score. And just for the purposes of this illustration, we're going to assume that you go down and you score every time. And then the other team comes down and they score every time. So that's just kind of like an even trade. So you're not losing ground, but you're not catching up to the other team either. So, and yet a lot of times we do that. We just think like what we talked about with the affirmations. Like, if I just say these powerful affirmations, then things are going to change. And it's like, no, it's helping you not lose more ground, but it's not making up ground. So let's go back, rewind. Coach calls timeout. You're down by 20 points. And he draws up plays that, okay, when we're on defense, we're going to make a stop. And when we're on offense, these are the plays we're going to do to score. And you go in with this great plan. So even anyone who's ever watched a comeback, it's not always like perfect, but this is kind of what it looks like. You go down and you make a 3-point basket. And then you come down and you make a stop on defense. And then you go down and you make 2 points. And then you come down and you make a 3-point basket. You make a stop and then you go down and you make a 3-point basket. So you've scored 8 unanswered points. You are still down by 12 points. But what does the other team's coach do at this point? He calls a timeout. Why? Like, you're still down by 12. He's still ahead by 12. Because any coach who's coached understands the power of momentum. And he knows that if he doesn't do something to stop your run, you're going to not only catch up, but possibly pull ahead. This is not good for his team. Even though his team is still ahead by 12 points, you've only scored 8 of the 20 that you need. And life is like that too. We need these little wins and these little stops, and you need them both. So you need to be stopping the negative. Like, imagine a pipe burst in your kitchen, and you just start taking towels and you just start cleaning it up. No, You have to like get to the source of the water and turn it off so no more is coming out. And so that's kind of what I mean when I'm talking about defense. Like find the source of all the negativity and cut it off. Don't let it keep flooding you. And then you can take up the towels and the mops and the shop vac or whatever you need to clean up the mess and to make everything better. So I know I kind of mashed some analogies together. I hope you guys all followed that. It made sense in my head. But so I want to go back to something I've talked about a few times because I've started doing this again because I was like, wow, this was so powerful. That a couple years ago I started doing 20 push-ups every morning, and how I just started getting back in shape. Like just those 20 push-ups, and I say just, but not just, it was a big deal. The fact that I got out of bed and did 20 push-ups first thing set my mind up to become more physically fit and to become more active. Like, oh no, I'm the girl who gets out of bed and does 20 push-ups. And if you guys saw my 20 push-ups, that would probably sound a lot less impressive. It would probably look a lot less impressive than it sounds, but there's your reality. So I want you to think of momentum, like what is an area in your life where you can make some stops and make some gains. So my sister has, I think she called it SIPS, S-I-P-S, and I kind of stole this from her because I loved it. And it stands for spiritual, intellectual, physical, and I don't remember her other S was. Spiritual, intellectual, physical, social. That was it. And every day she would just do a little something in each of those as like her morning routine. And just by the name SIPS, it really gives you this idea that it doesn't have to be huge. Like you only have 5 minutes to read a book or pray or say a meditation or whatever, then just do that. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but take a sip. And as you start sipping, then you can kind of build on that. It gives you some momentum to build on. So when you're starting out, start small so momentum can build. Take the wins and then build on the momentum. Hope that's helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.